750,000 federal employees have been furloughed, and there always been talks about, oh, they're going to get back pay, everything else. And this time they're talking about no back pay. And it's going to come even bigger for these furloughed workers because they're getting handed pink slips via email or everything else. And so they're going to be canned. They're saying that there's too much workers. We don't need that many. We can operate with way less people. So what are we doing? We just can't. And it's funny when I look online and I've heard people talk that during government shutdowns, some of the power dynamic shifts back to the president, and then they're saying, get the boot, get out. And this is really detrimental to 750,000 people like here that are going to work, trying to contribute, and all of a sudden they get handed the pink slip. And when you get handed the pink slip, it is now like, okay, what do I do? Normally, what I would do is I would tell you, take some time, reflect on it, don't take it personal, and start job searching once you kind of feel better. But now, since Thanksgiving is all around the corner, you got to be kicking it into high gear because after Thanksgiving, depending on what industry you are, then all of a sudden it's not looking so bright for you because PTO mandates and use it or lose it. And so then you got to figure out, oh, this guy's on vacation, this guy's taking extended leave because of PTO and he racked all this up and we don't want to carry it over. So it is crunch time for all these people. And I'm going to show you a video here of the news in a little bit of them actually talking about, hey, we're going to get you fired when you're furloughed. And this is just absolutely crazy for 750 plus thousand people. And there's more people that they're thinking about, oh, you got to come back to work and no pay and everything else. So first of all, I don't think that people should work without pay at all. Because if you're not paying these people, why would they go? And for these people that are going to tell us in the comment section, be like, yeah, that's what I voted for. The problem with that is that then the service at the federal government level is already really, really bad. And it's just going to get a lot worse. So if you don't need any services and you're okay with it, then yeah, this is what you voted for. You got it. But now all of a sudden, if you need federal funding and you need federal services, and all of a sudden it's going to get way harder to get a hold of them. You can't reach anybody nowadays anyways. And now it's going to make it even harder to get anything done if you need federal assistance or anything else. And we're seeing TSA lines insane. We're seeing that people working at airport traffic, we're seeing that air traffic control centers, they're like, we're done. We're just calling in sick because we're not getting paid. And then it's going to delay your plane and everything else. I don't think that's what everybody voted for. I think people just say that because we need to trim down the budget and we need to trim down the deficit because we're spending so much money and we're sending so much money everywhere else. But where it truly matters, Americans, they're just getting canned because we're looking at the roads, we're looking at the bridges, and everything else is just in dire, and we're funding everything else. But yeah, let's look at this video of the news basically talking about what they're seeing in Washington, D.C.
Breaking news on a Friday afternoon, federal workers, many of them are neighbors here in the Washington, D.C. area, are being fired. A post on X from the director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russ Vought, said rifts have begun, government speak, for reductions in force. In plain English, it means people are being fired in the midst of this government shutdown. How many? One White House source told NBC News a substantial number. Another source said it is in the thousands. Where are they? How will they be notified? We don't have those answers yet. But a spokesperson told NBC News it's deeply unfortunate that thousands of federal workers will be laid off as a result of the Democrat shutdown. It's unclear if any of this is legal. Doesn't mean it's not happening. It'll be fought over in the courts. In the meantime, those federal employees put in the middle. In past shutdowns, many of them have been furloughed, asked to work without pay, or simply gone without paychecks for some time. But they would eventually get their jobs back. Now the White House seems to be pushing the envelope and actually reducing the number of federal employees through firings. An awful lot more details that we certainly want and we know you need. Trying to get them.
So yeah, we're seeing it, that they're saying that you're working for the federal government, your job's not so secure as you thought, and you're out. There's the door. And if you're working for private companies, you've been there, where they just all of a sudden they send you a laptop via FedEx, says sign it and put your laptop in, and boom, you're out. And it's like, what? I didn't even know that happened. Or you drive to work, you try to badge in, your badge doesn't work. Somebody comes out and says, please give us our badge, give me your badge. Yeah, you've been fired. And here's the thing to sign, and off you go. And if you like content like this, please like and subscribe. And sometimes when I look at these cases and people are like, I'm so upset, and greater things will come. You just have to figure out, what are your next move? What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? And how are you gonna deal with that? So first of all, what I always recommend people is get a project portfolio done and clean up your image. That means if you're having party pictures on Facebook and you have stuff that you didn't want your kids to see, or you didn't think that your future employer would look at really happy about and be like, yeah, that's the guy we want to hire. That guy who's half drunk, puking in a can next to ale house. Yeah, that's the guy we want to hire. Clean it up, put in a nice picture with you in a suit, and just be like, this is me. These are the skills I bring to the table, and off you go to the races. But people are like, nah, I don't want to do none of that. All of a sudden, job searching will take months, even years, if you're not gonna do that. Because nowadays, you're one AI search away of, who's this person? What do they know? Where did they get their degree? And let me pull up their socials, and you see drunken pictures of you and peeing your pants on a Facebook picture. People are like, probably not the image that I want my company to be. And so clean up the image, make a project portfolio. There's free ones online. You can Google it. I think Ali's YouTube channel has some on there, and you just type it in and kind of figure out, okay, this is what I got to do. And you send that in, because if you got fired and you're like, oh, what do I do now? I'm going to welcome you to the corporate Hunger Games, because you're going to have to start competing. And I know a long time ago, like for the last 4 or 5 years, it hasn't been like that. You just submitted your resume, you got a phone call. Now you got to do it. And guess what? You're competing with AI. You're competing with all these resume services and everything else. So what do I always say? Personal connections are everything. Used to not believe that, and a good friend of mine convinced me way otherwise. It's relationships that will get you to the next level, that will get you rehired. So make sure that you have good relationships in place. And if you're not at the verge of being fired, or your industry's booming, because people say, oh, this is whole doom and gloom, and the US economy is gonna crash and everything. No. If you're working as a debt collector, your industry most likely booming. If you're a repo man, I think you probably got more jobs than you can handle. So you're probably thinking about, should I expand? Should I do anything else? Because with every down cycle, there's an up cycle somewhere. And I think Warren Buffett even says, even in a bear market, there's a bull run somewhere. Or somebody said that, I can't remember who it is. So you just got to find it, capitalize on it, and then move quick, because time kills deals. And so you just got to put your best step forward and start contributing in a positive way, and you will be okay. Because there's no better place than to make money, to get other opportunities, than inside the United States. I am one of these people that had chances inside the United States, and I've been so blessed. I've been doing better and better every year. Did I have problems? Of course I did. Did I lose money? Oh, I betcha. But what it is determination. You dream about it, you pray about it, you do whatever you need to do to then move to that next level. And there's no secret sauce than you going out and doing it. And you can listen to all these motivational speakers and everything else. That all doesn't do good to you until you actually go out and do it. Till you walk the talk, and then all of a sudden you're gonna be fine. But you gotta step 1 step forward, you take 3 steps back, you take 5 steps forward, you take 7 steps back, and over the time, over the lifetime, you're gonna be ahead if you're gonna just keep sticking with it and keep making good moves. And yeah, you try, you fail, you punch you in the face. And this is what one of my viewers always said. He said that everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face. I think that was Mike Tyson. And so this is just reality of 2025. Everybody has a plan till they get that you're fired notice on the screen, looking at it like, or HR meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, that's not good. And so then it's like, gotta figure something out. And all of a sudden you ask your peers or other people for references and something else, and they're like, yeah, those references, they're not good because you were an asshole to them. And this is easy to fix. You just do better. You're a nice person, and not be the grumpy dude from the office and be that whiny little person that nobody wants to get to because you're racist or you're I don't know, whatever, misogynistic or whatever it is. Because I've seen people all the time, they complain, they're not likable, and they're great during the hiring phase, but when you ask around of them, no, not good. So make sure that you are the person that they want to hire. Be the puzzle piece that fits their solution, and you will have a job. You'll have a great career. But like I said, you gotta grab the opportunity and then you gotta run with it. And this is just how life is in general. You gotta find something that fits your personality, that fits your need, and then just run with it. And this is what is happening with the federal government. People cannot keep going down that road with spending, and all of a sudden there is no more money. And now if you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? So you got your resume right, you fixed your online appearance. Nowadays you go through your credit card statements and you figure out, what do I not need anymore? What do I cancel? Because getting your finances right is crucial. And you should have done that a long time ago. If you watch my content and you're a federal employee and you're at the verge of being cut, you should have trimmed your finances, saved a little bit of money so you have a safety net. And I know people online are still crazy to me that safety net and paying your bills sometimes is controversial, but you just got to figure out, how much do I need for 6, 7, 8 months so I can then use the money that the government gives me in unemployment for health insurance, because health insurance is going to be expensive on the private market. And so make sure you have a little bit of money set aside, because your 401k, you don't want to cash that out, right? And you don't want to cash out other assets, because when you want to sell, you never get what you want for it. That's why I always tell people, you got to sell when there's a good market. And when people go into houses and say, no, house is investment, when it's at peak market, you need to sell that place and you need to go back and rent if you think your house is an investment, right? Because what do you do with investments when they're at the top? You sell them. And now when I'm looking at get your finances right, do all that, you can literally look everywhere in the world, and most places. You can literally check Europe too. This is from a news agency in Germany that says millions of people are in debt to their eyeballs. So it's not just a US phenomenon. And it's even a Swiss phenomenon, the same thing, Switzerland. So Swiss, and I'm reading it all over, UK, the same place. So you're looking at these young people get into debt with buy now, pay later, and some other stuff. So yeah, make sure that just because you want it and you can make the payments today does not mean you can make the payments tomorrow. And one thing I'll tell you is, you sleep really good at night if you have some money set aside. You don't have to worry about your truck payment. You don't have to worry about all these other things going on, because you have that safety net. You have something that you can do. Because what Americans do is, and I've seen it before, they live off of their house. They're like, oh, I got a HELOC, and that is like a home equity line of credit that they can pull out. And it's like a checking account that the bank gives you. If your house is worth $200,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, then you can just kind of use a little bit of that money, a few $100,000 they'll give you, so you can just kind of live off of that, pay your bills or pay off credit cards because it's a lower interest rate, and you can kind of use that as a piggy bank. But if you're not going to find something in a few years or in 6, 7, 8 months, you'll burn through that because you need to make adjustments to your lifestyle. So listen to this video and just make sure that you will put everything into place for your best success. And nobody wants you to succeed better than yourself. So make sure it fits you and your family. And one more thing before we're gonna end this video, because it started raining here, is that these 700,000 furloughed workers, what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull back spending. So they're gonna not go and shop at the local pizza store. They're not gonna go shop at their local Safeway as much or buy impulse purchases, because why would they? And now it's going to start really raining. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe. For these people that say it never rains in Vegas, it does. So yeah, it's been raining pretty crazy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, now it's raining like crazy. So thank God I ended this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.